Rectilinear motion graphical analysis part 3. Let us consider the acceleration versus time graph. Now looks like this. It is constant over a particular time interval, said up to this it is constant to this value, and since it is constant up to this value, let us say it is t1, and after that it becomes 0. Acceleration then becomes 0 up to a certain time interval, let us consider t2, and after that again the acceleration attains this same value, let us consider it is the a. So this is the thing. Acceleration is constant up to t1, then acceleration becomes 0, and again the acceleration switches to that level and continues after that. So if I want to find out the velocity versus time graph for this configuration, then just try to understand what the velocity actually represents. The velocity actually represents the change in distance or displacement, change in displacement basically. What the acceleration actually represents here? The acceleration actually represents the change in velocity. Here the acceleration is constant. So the change in velocity up to the time interval t1, after time interval t1, say it is a constant. Say it is a constant. And after that the acceleration becomes 0 from t1 to t2. Since the acceleration becomes 0 up from t1 to t2, so the velocity will not change. That is, the velocity remains constant. So the velocity remains constant up to that particular time interval. After that, if the time is greater than t2, again the acceleration acts on it at the same rate. So it will be looking like this. So at first the velocity is increasing, then becomes constant, and then again increasing. Now let us take, this is the variation of the acceleration versus time. That the acceleration is constant, acceleration is positive, the plus a value up to t1, then from in between t1 and t2, greater than t1 but less than t2, the acceleration becomes 0, and after that the acceleration again becomes the value, but it is on the negative direction, so it is called a retardation. So again the acceleration becomes retardation at a time greater than t2. So if I want to draw the velocity versus time graph for this, just see, this is the representing the velocity versus time graph. So the acceleration is constant, so the velocity is increasing up to the time interval t1. Velocity is increasing up to the time interval t1. After that the acceleration becomes 0, the velocity becomes 0. So the velocity becomes 0. After the acceleration becomes negative in the negative half of the axis. So it is now the retardation. So now the velocity will not increase, now the velocity will decrease. Now the velocity will decrease. And since it is not given when it becomes, again when it becomes, no interval is given, so we cannot show any interval there. We can say the velocity again becomes 0 at an infinite distance, but this is something like this. Now if anyone have the wish to draw the displacement versus time graph for this one, and for this one, then if we can draw it separately, then we just keep one thing in my mind, that this is the velocity versus time graph. At first the velocity is increasing, then velocity becomes constant, then it is basically the velocity is again increasing. So it is nothing but, it is basically showing the slope of the displacement versus time graph. Just like these graphs showing the slope of velocity versus time graph. Here the slope is constant, so there is a constant increase. At the slope is 0, no increase. At the slope is again constant, so there is a constant increase. Now Here if I want to show the displacement versus time graph for this particular velocity versus time graph, then you can see that here the velocity is increasing continuously and attains some value. So if I want to describe this thing, just think, this is the displacement versus time graph. Velocity is increasing at a constant rate after a time interval t1. Okay, so we can say it is like this. After that the velocity remains constant after time interval t2. We can say it is somehow like this. It is somehow like this. After again the velocity is increasing at a constant rate. So it is again increasing. So this is the thing. Now if I want to draw the velocity versus time graph for this acceleration time graph, it will get this. Now if I want to draw the displacement versus time graph for this, then how it will represent? Let us see. So this is the displacement versus time graph, and at first the slope of the displacement versus time graph will be continuously increasing. So actually the curve is displacement time graph will be of just like this, parabolic, and after that at up to time t1, and after that it will increasing. After it will increasing, the velocity versus time graph is shows that it has the constant value. So there will be a linear increase. So the increase is linear. So the increase is linear. After that the velocity versus time graph shows the decreasing slope. So it will be somehow decreasing like this. So from these discussions we have understood one thing, that acceleration versus time graph it basically shows how the slope of the velocity time graph changes, and the velocity versus time graph basically shows how the displacement versus time graph's slope is changing. If it is constant, then there will be a linear increase. If the slope is increasing, if the slope is 0, there will be a linear increase. If the slope is increasing linearly, slope is increasing continuously at the uniform rate, then there will be a parabolic increase. That we have shown here. Just see, we have shown here. Linear increase, parabolic. Constant, linear increase. Decreasing at a uniform rate, decreasing as parabolic. So these things we can basically draw without nothing thinking about the data, numerical value and all of these things. We just understand how to understand the nature of the graph, how to get the one graph from another graph, how the data of one graph is just hidden in another graph. Just like the acceleration versus time graph basically talks about the slope of the velocity versus time graph. The data about the slope of the velocity versus time graph is hidden into this acceleration versus time graph. And the slope of the displacement versus time graph, how it will change, it is hidden in the velocity versus time graph. So this is the thing. Without concerning about the numerical values and all of these things and data and dealing with the lots of practices and numerical calculations, we just understand the nature of the graph and we can draw it. Till now I have discussed about the graphical nature of the vector quantities, just like I have discussed about the graphical nature of the displacement versus time curve, and after that the velocity versus time graph, after that the acceleration versus time graph, but I have not concerned about the scalar quantities. that is the analogous or similar scalar quantities, just like vector, that is the displacement can be understood as a distance, but it is not equal. The magnitude of displacement equal to the magnitude of displacement is equal to that of distance only when the particle is moving along a straight line, otherwise it is not possible. All the time the distance is greater than that of the displacement, magnitude of displacement. And but one thing we have to understood, till now we have known the nature of the vector graphs, the quantity of the vector graphs, but is it the same thing happens in case of the displacement versus time graph and the distance versus time graph? Let us see. Let us see. It represents a acceleration versus time graph. It is the acceleration, it is time. Okay. So let us say the curve is somehow like this, that it is constant up to a certain time interval. Okay. Then it switches to this value 0. After that it again becomes negative. This is the, so here it will become, we can say it is the plus a, it is t1, it is t2, and then it becomes minus a. Okay, so it is the acceleration. But if I want to draw the velocity versus time graph from it, we can easily draw it, velocity versus time graph, because it is talking about the slope. The slope of the velocity versus time graph is known to us. Here the slope is constant, it is increasing. Slope is constant, it is increasing up to the time t1. Here the slope is 0. So slope is 0. If the slope is 0, the curve, obviously how it will become, the slope is 0 here. The slope is 0. So what does it mean? If the slope of the velocity time graph is 0, then how it looks like? Straight line. The slope is 0. Up to which? Up to t equal to t2. Now just think the slope is now becomes, now it is at minus a. So the slope is negative now, and it is decreasing at the constant rate. So if it decreasing at the constant rate, we can say it is like this. But now I am talking about the rectilinear motion. The particle is moving along a straight line. So if the particle is moving along a straight line, so the magnitude of the velocity is equal to that of the speed. So if it is, then if I want to draw this, then the speed versus time graph, speed versus time. Speed is a scalar quantity, so it have no direction. Basically, if I put a minus sign before a vector, then obviously what will happen is direction will change. But is this occurs in case of the scalar quantity? Just like here. Just like here. Here the velocity is increasing. Obviously, it is increasing. After the velocity is increasing, so the speed is increasing, magnitude of it is increasing. The velocity becomes constant. Obviously, after the t greater than t1, the magnitude of the speed is also constant up to t equal to t2. After that, the velocity becomes decreasing, or you can say it is in the negative direction. Velocity is decreasing, okay? Velocity decreasing, it is just decreasing. So if it is decreasing, so if it shows the negative direction, that is the, so the speed of it is also decreasing. Is it like that? The same nature follows. The same nature follows here. That is my question. The last thing that I have drawn, is it like that? Obviously it will be like that because here the magnitude is decreasing. But now I take an example. Here. You see that how the scalar quantity and the vector quantity is different. How the scalar quantity and the vector quantity is different, that we can observe from the graph. That if I say this is the representing the velocity and this is the time. Okay. Now the velocity is increasing. Very okay. After that the velocity becomes 0. After the velocity becomes 0, let us say it is t1 and it is t2. Okay. After that the velocity is increasing. That is here, if I draw this, then what it will represent? If I draw this, what it will basically represent? If I say this is the plus v and this is the minus v, so what it will represent? It is basically representing a particle is moving, its velocity is increasing continuously. After a certain time interval, velocity becomes constant, and then the velocity is increasing at the reverse direction, at the opposite direction. So what does it mean? The particle is reverses its direction and returns. If the velocity becomes negative, it is not that the magnitude of the velocity is decreasing, it is not that. The velocity becomes negative. So the way we have considered the velocity is positive, it is now changed the direction. But is there any change about the speed? Is there any change about the speed? Speed is increasing. Very okay. After that the speed remains constant. After the speed becomes 0. For a certain time it just take a momentarily pause here. After that again the speed is increasing. So I think now you understand the difference. A particle is moving in that particular direction and reach here t1, take a rest or pause up to time t2, and then again returns back and try to attain the same velocity. So the direction change is noted by the negative sign. So is it carry forwarded to the speed? Obviously no, because the speed does not concern about the direction. Speed is only about the value, whether it is increasing or decreasing, in which directions it is increasing, it does not matter. So obviously with the same type of that, with the velocity, the speed is also increasing after time interval t1, and it will obviously become 0 because the speed is 0. Obviously because the velocity is 0, the speed is also 0. It takes a momentarily pause up to the time t2. And after that the velocity is completely becomes reversed. That is, here the athlete or the particle tries to move in the opposite direction, but if we want to returning back, it does not concern about the speed. Here also the speed is increasing, he just increasing speed and try to reach here. So the speed is increasing like this because it is not concerning about the whether he is returning back or where he is going. It is concerning only about the values. So just two things I want to say. In this curve, the magnitude of the velocity is changing. Okay, so it is completely followed by the speed versus time graph. The magnitude of the velocity is changing, so the speed is also changing, or the speed is also decreasing. But here the thing is not like this. Here the thing is about the velocity is increasing in the negative direction. That is, the direction is changed, direction of motion is changed. But the direction of motion does not affect the speed, the scalar quantity. So it will remain the same. So that is the thing I want to distinguish here. If I want to represent the scalar quantities, it will behave something different, depending on the cases obviously. The difference is that when it is moving to the negative half of the graph, at a time it shows the effect on the positive, just like this, positive half. So this is the thing you need to understand. Here I have taken an example, and in this example at first I have taken the data of the velocity versus time graph up to 8 intervals, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, up to 8 intervals I have taken, and I try to draw most of these things symmetrically, but I want to draw that how these values are representing the velocity, the acceleration, the displacement, and the speed. The 5 dynamical variables, you know how they are interrelated with each other. If you know one thing, how you can derive the information from that and draw another thing. So if we just try to understand this thing, that here the velocity is increasing up to this time, so obviously the magnitude of the magnitude of velocity or the speed will also increase up to the first time interval. Then the velocity is decreasing, magnitude of the velocity is decreasing, so obviously the speed is also decreasing up to 2, no problem. After that the velocity becomes negative and it is again increasing up to 3. The velocity becomes negative. It shows any effect in the speed. So it just only take the information that the velocity is increasing up to 3. So the velocity is increasing up to 3. After that the velocity is decreasing and becomes 0 again, but it is from the negative value. So we need not to consider about this thing, because I am concerning about the speed now. See, if I am concerning about the speed now, then I just see only about the decrease. Now again in the similar way, 4 to 5 velocity is increasing, speed is increasing in the positive direction, and here it shows the decreasing, velocity is decreasing in the positive direction. Now the velocity is again increasing but in negative direction, so we have not to take this, we have considered about the mod value. Okay, so it will increase and again decrease, so it basically represents the 8 intervals that I am going to show you. Now if I consider about the acceleration, now just see the acceleration versus time. Obviously it is a vector quantity, so when the velocity is changing positive direction, when the velocity is changing negative direction, now it is apt to consider. Now it is important. So now the velocity is increasing from here to here within this first time interval. Velocity is increasing and it is at a constant rate. The rate is not changed, so you can say the acceleration is constant here, so it is like this. After that, from 1 to 2, what will happen? The acceleration is decreasing, okay, and becomes 0, but the acceleration is decreasing. That is here the slope. If I consider the slope here, okay, Basically in the acceleration I am representing the slope of the velocity versus time graph. And the slope is negative and it is continuous up to 2. So the slope is negative and it is continuous up to 2. Again the slope is negative and it is continuously decreasing, and the slope is negative of the velocity versus time graph, and it will be continuous up to 3. After that the slope is increasing, positive slope, not the value, the slope. So it will become this. From 4 to 5 the slope remains in the same manner, it is increasing up to 5. So up to 5 we will show this. After that again the slope becomes negative up to 6. So it is like that. 6 to 7 again it is negative. So obviously it is like that. And from 7 to 8 it is again increasing. So it should be here. So from 0 to 1 it is slope is positive. So it is constant, and the slope is linear, so all the time the slope is constant here. Constant and positive here, constant and negative up to 2, constant and negative up to 3, constant and positive. Okay, and positive means I am talking of the slope. The slope is positive and it is constant up to 4 to 5, it is constant, and 5 to 6 it is negative. So 5 to 6 it is negative, obviously it is constant, so it will be a line, straight line here. 6 to 7 it is again a negative. Okay, slope is negative but it is constant, so up to 6 to 7 here it is, and up to 8 it is like this. So now if I talking about the velocity, it is like this. So if I want to derive the displacement from here, okay, if I want to derive the displacement from here, so for the first interval from 0 to 1, listen it concentrately. For the first interval from 0 to 1, if I look at the acceleration is constant. Velocity is increasing linearly. Acceleration is constant. So how it will looks like? Obviously it is increasing. The slope just is, the slope is increasing here. Clear? Now we consider from 1 to 2. 1 to 2 acceleration is constant but negative. Okay, now the velocity is decreasing. Velocity is decreasing at a constant manner. Velocity is decreasing at a constant manner, and the velocity becomes 0 at the end of the time interval 2. At 2 the velocity is 0. So the motions become ceases, the velocity becomes 0. So at 2 the displacement versus time graph that we want to going to draw, that will be a straight line, because at that time the velocity is completely 0, the displacement is 0 at that time. We say that is that point 2, here it is 0, here it is like that, and the velocity is continuously decreasing. So this should be the slope. Just see the slope is, if I draw the slope here, just see, this is the slope here and this is the slope here. Two slopes are completely different. The slope is increasing and the slope is decreasing, and after decreasing at the certain rate of decreasing it becomes 0 here. Okay, now from 2 to 3, if I want to see from 2 to 3, just look at this. From 2 to 3, how it looks like, the velocity is continuously decreasing. Okay, velocity is continuously decreasing, and when it reaches the 3, the velocity is not 0. And if I looking at the acceleration is 0. The acceleration is 0. So we have to show a decreasing slope, the parabolic path, but of a decreasing slope, but on the negative path. So if I show from 2 to 3, obviously it will be looking like this. Up to 3, it will be looking like this. Now it is here. Now from 3 to 4, acceleration becomes positive. Acceleration becomes positive, and here the velocity is positive but on the negative half. That means the displacement is like this. It is positive. It is positive but on the negative half. So it will be showing like this. So if the same thing is followed from 4 to 5 or not, here it is basically representing the slope. It is a triangle, drawing the tangent, after that making a small triangle of that. So from 4 to 5, if I want to see, if 4 to 5 if I want to see the acceleration is constant, it is evident. 4 to 5 if I want to see, the velocity is increasing. Okay, the velocity is now increasing. If the velocity is increasing now and the acceleration is positive, now what I have to show? Just think about. Then just in a similar manner, if we are continuously doing this, then it will be not on the negative axis, but it is again increasing like this. From 4 again increasing like this. After it is increasing again the slope here. Okay, after it is decreasing like this. The same thing will be followed here, because the same thing here to here, the same thing is followed here to here periodically, and here also. Just see, up to this, up to 4, from starting from 4 to 8, the same thing follows here. So we can draw the symmetric nature. Okay, that the displacement is not going to the negative, that is on the negative axis it is not going. Why it is? If it want to go towards the negative displacement, if displacement direction is want to change, then what we have to be there? Here the velocity is continuously increasing in the positive direction. If it is somehow like this, if it is not like here, if it is somehow like this, then we can see that it will be in that direction. Okay, so I think this thing is clear to you. Now if I want to draw the, that is S is the distance from 0 to 1, it is increasing, no problem. 1 to 2, it is increasing, no problem. Now the displacement becomes negative. So not about the distance does not concern about the directions, it is only considering about the values. It will say it is increasing, just I am talking about this. That is, after that the velocity is, that is the speed is again increasing, so displacement will be, so the speed is again increasing like this. Sorry, the speed is again increasing. Since it is increasing, the slope should be like this. If it is increasing, the slope should be like this. After that the velocity is 3 to 4, again decreasing, so the slope will be like this. Okay, after that if I want to cover this thing, then it will be like this, then it will be like this, and it will be just go upwards up to the 8 time intervals. So I can draw for the sufficient of pages just like up to 4, and this thing will be repeated again in here on this side. It will don't come here, it will go on this side. So that is the thing I going to tell you, and this is the several types of graphs I have discussed. And let us take different types of things, waiting for different types of things in the next lecture.